Am I the asshole for confessing my feelings to my coworker who is in a relationship with my best friend? We're all in our early 20s and Jack and Jill have been dating for several months now. I've known Jack for a little longer than they've been dating and I've gotten to know him well enough. I consider them both to be good friends of mine. Jack and Jill have a very low-key relationship. You'd hardly even think that they have anything outside of a professional relationship, which is understandable given that when I see them it's always at work. Even still though, there's times that we can be relaxed and just enjoy each other's company as everyone else does and they still don't budge. However, this isn't where the issue lies within that relationship. Jill started working there a few months after I did and the moment I saw her, I was interested. Unfortunately, Jack charmed his way into a relationship while I was bound to remain in the friend zone. I, being the decent enough person that I am, initially respected the relationship when I was told that they were in one and decided to move on. However, Jill has recently started telling me about some issues in their relationship. Those issues all revolve around Jack not spending enough time with her, or any time for that matter. Even I have spent more time hanging out with her as a friend than her own boyfriend does. She essentially told me that she feels insecure in her relationship because of the lack of time spent together and not really valued as she should be. Aside from Jack's shortcomings in maintaining a healthy relationship, he's a good person and a decent friend, so I wasn't quick to deepen the divide between them. Instead, I did my best to mend it by easing Jill's worries. Yet, the problem remains, and the more time I spend with her, the harder it is to ignore my feelings for her. Not to mention, when we are together, our behavior can be quite flirtatious, or at least that's what I thought. Yesterday, as she was driving me home from work, I couldn't help but to reveal how I felt about her. To my surprise, since I thought my feelings were pretty obvious, she was shocked. I don't want to create a rift between my friendship with her nor with Jack and Jill's own romantic relationship, and even more than that, I don't want to make things awkward at work. I just thought that it was in my best interest to let her know that there's someone who can provide her with the comfort that she needs. Am I the asshole for sharing my true feelings with her?
Am I the asshole for wanting to expose my lying, cheating mother? A month ago, I borrowed my mom's phone and she had no idea, but I looked at all of her apps and found that she was cheating with multiple men. I'm 26 years old and my parents have now been married for 30 years. I actually got separated when I graduated from high school, but then they got back together a few years later. My mom has always been the one that wants to separate my dad, but he keeps wanting to get back together with her. My dad is actually in love with this woman. He adores her. He does everything for her. He's super affectionate with her, loves to take her out on dates, gives her so much of his time, and she still doesn't appreciate it. I've always been closer to my dad than my mom. My mom's always trying to find an excuse to go party with her friends, but now I know why. Like I said, I ended up borrowing her phone and she probably didn't expect me to go snooping. And honestly, it wasn't even my intention. I'm scrolling on her phone and I see the app Tinder. I nearly fell out of my seat. So I quickly scrolled through everything and started taking pictures. My mom was sending nudes to random men. Part 2 is up. Am I the asshole for wanting to expose my lying, cheating mother? That's when I saw that she was sending nudes to men on different apps. Not only was she on Tinder, she was also on Bumble and an app for older people. Mind you, my father is still in love with this woman. I managed to take pictures of everything on the apps. Here's the worst part. Start going through her messages and that's when I found that she has a boyfriend. At that point, I didn't know how long they'd been together. Now I know that she's been with him for 6 months. So every single time she goes on her weekend trips with her friends, she's actually with her boyfriend. And get this, she uses my dad's money to pay for everything. An entire week passed before I confronted her. First, I didn't know how to confront her, but I had to just do it. Every time I saw my dad, I would start to cry and he was worried about me. I didn't have the heart to tell my dad until I confronted my mom. I went up to her and I showed her all the receipts I had. So she got pissed at me for looking through her phone. By the way, at this point, I'm still living with my parents. That's when she threatened to kick me out of the house if I told my dad anything. My own mother threatening me. Then she tried to smack me across the face, so I smacked her. Part 3 is up. Am I the asshole for wanting to expose my lying, cheating mother? After she slapped me, I slapped her back. And I slapped her so hard she actually fell on the floor. I instantly felt bad and tried to apologize. That's when she started to cry and I started to cry. I asked her to just be honest with me and tell me the truth. She told me that she wasn't in love with my dad anymore, but that she felt bad for him because he was still in love with her. And that she'd been dating this new guy for 6 months. She even confessed that she was addicted to going on dating apps and flirting with men. That's when I told her she needed to tell my dad. That she needed to stop using his money to take her boyfriend out. Then another confession. She had spent over $25,000 on hotels that she would book for her and her new boyfriend. And apparently this guy was broke. He couldn't pay for himself. She tried to negotiate with me. If I don't tell my dad, she'd break up with her boyfriend and stop using the apps. I mean, she's my mother and I don't want to cause her pain, but it's my dad. I ended up telling her that I wouldn't tell my dad. But 2 nights ago, my dad went on a work trip. My mom is so stupid she actually snuck in her boyfriend through her window. I heard them doing the dirty all night. And now she's begging me again not to tell my dad. I'm planning on telling my dad tonight. I'll have to keep you guys updated. Give me advice.
I met a man at a 4th of July parade once and he said, "Do you want to go jump off a bridge with me and my friends?" And I said, I would love to, but I'm from out of town and I didn't bring a swimsuit. And he said, "If that's genuinely your only holdup, well, we can probably find someone to lend you a swimsuit." So we found someone to lend me a swimsuit. It was the cutest swimsuit I've ever worn. I think about it every single day. And I really wanted to buy it off of the girl who lent it to me, but that felt like creepy and weird. So parade friend and I jumped off a bridge together. Then we got food, and then we wandered around downtown holding hands for no reason, and then we went and sat down by the river to wait for the fireworks to start. We're sitting in the grass, and he starts telling me his whole life story, and I wanted to be like, dude, you don't have to tell me a sob story, I'm already gonna hook up with you. But that seemed like a wildly inappropriate thing to say to somebody who had just told you that his dad left when he was really little and things had been really hard on him and his mom. So instead, I just told him something personal about me, and then the fireworks still hadn't started. We were like, what should we do until these fireworks start? Make out, I guess. But we weren't doing anything crazy because we were in public. We weren't trying to get arrested. Then this weirdo started tickling me. I was like, dude, no. I don't like being tickled in any situation, any context, especially not now. But he kept tickling me, and I said, dude, no. And then we heard a man behind us say no. We both slowly turned our heads, and we realized that the man behind us was speaking to his daughter. They'd laid out a blanket to watch the fireworks on. His daughter was wandering off the blanket. When he said no, his daughter turned around and went back on the blanket. I turned back to parade friend and I said, see, she knows what that word means. He said, that's different. That's a child. I'm a grown man. I said, no means the same thing to a child as it does a grown man. The only difference is children listen. He removed his whole body from me. He was like, I'm sorry, are you saying I don't listen to you? And we had our first fight and made up during the fireworks show. After we finished not watching the fireworks show, we hung out some more, ran some night errands, and then he took me to my friend's apartment where I was staying. He said, can I have your number? And I was like, dude, we both know you're not going to use my number. And he said, I'm trying to be a gentleman. I was like, well, the ship sailed on that, buddy. And he said, hit me up if you're ever in town again. And I said, I will not. And I never saw him again. This week's episode of I Live With Men, my roommate has picked up this really odd habit where he goes on walks at nighttime alone. No dog, no buddy system, no pepper spray. He just wanders off into the darkness in his pajamas, in shoes that he could not run from a T-Rex in if he tried. I'm fascinated by it and also a little angry and also a little worried about him because you don't know what people are out there at night. There could be real weirdos out there. Just the other day, I was driving home and I saw some creepy guy in our street, in our neighborhood, and I was like, see, this is why he has to be careful. And then when I got closer, I realized it was him.
Am I the asshole for not telling my wife happy birthday? Y'all, I wish Kayla would. My wife and I have been going over stuff to do on her birthday for the last month or so. It's now her birthday and I had the day off my main job, but I was gonna do some Uber in the morning, just while she was asleep to make a bit more money so we could have a better time. She came in at 5:30 in the morning, woke me up and asked if I had work because normally I wake up before that. I told her I didn't have work today, but I was going to do Uber. She got upset and told me I shouldn't be doing Uber on her birthday, then demanded to know why I haven't told her happy birthday yet. I said it was because it was 5:30 in the morning and I told her I was to wait until we were celebrating her birthday. Am I the asshole for not telling my wife happy birthday? Now she's upset at me because she says that her family and friends have already said happy birthday to her, and that she expected her husband to do the same. I told her that she was being unreasonable and that waking me up at 5:30 in the morning to demand I say happy birthday is extremely spoiled behavior. At this point, she was telling me to return the gifts I bought for her and that she doesn't want to spend her birthday with me. I'm writing this at 6 in the morning, and yes, this happened in the last half hour. I should point out that she has BPD and she can get very angry very quickly and then stay angry for long periods of time. She also already spent $2,000 on her birthday. Am I the asshole for sneaking out of the restaurant after my fiance told me to pay for his and his friend's meal? Yeah, they had you messed up. I, female 33, have been engaged to my fiance, male 37, for 5 months. We don't share finances because that's what he wants. I got a raise on my salary and now I earn 30% more than he does, and I notice he's been using this to ask me to pay for him and his friends. Whenever I say no or why would I pay for this, he'd respond with the 30%, that's why. He acts like the 30% is unfair or as if I'm not deserving of it. Several times he's tricked me to pay for them by asking me publicly. Oh, so you couldn't trick me. Am I the asshole for sneaking out of the restaurant after my fiance told me to pay for him and his friends? I'm just too nice to say no. I hate confrontation, especially when we're in public. Last Tuesday, he asked me to join him and his buddies for dinner, and I told him I would not be paying. In the middle of the meal, he leaned in and whispered that I would be paying for everything. I got so mad and whispered back no, but he probably relied on me not causing a scene in public. He said you have enough money. You could pay for everyone's food, 30%, remember? I was fuming. I waited till the bill arrived, paid for mine, and then excused myself to the restroom. I then snuck out, got in my car, and went home, and now he's mad.